So 2025 was a big year for the opposition People's National Party. It started with a lot of hope for them, ended in disappointment with the loss of the general election. How else did they do? I'm Dion Jax Miller. Thank you so much for joining me. Time for tea. So here are 3 things I think the PNP did well and 3 things I didn't think they did so well in. Number 1. The PNP did provide pretty effective checks and balances for the government in a number of areas, and that's the job of the parliamentary opposition, right? They're supposed to watch the government. They're supposed to dip on them. They're supposed to call them out if they think they're messing up or screwing up or have done something wrong. And we did see a lot of that coming from the PNP. Dr. Alfred Dawes, for instance, and his focus on this $31 million drill. Lots of conversations that started about how government is spending taxpayers' money. We always need to be on top of that. Don't listen to people when they say, oh, we just need to do the work. No. How you're doing the work is important. How you're spending your money in the process is important. And the whole drill argument had us talking about that. The PNP's challenge to how the government uses states of public emergency in terms of fighting crime, that was a big issue. They got a court victory on that, got some important jurisprudence, some important legal reasoning from the court on this issue, and we'll see what happens with that. That's being appealed. Opposition members also raised questions in Parliament, inside and outside of Parliament, in relation to the $150 million loan to the JPS after Hurricane Melissa. Yes, they didn't really necessarily get the answers they wanted, but trust me, raising questions is important, especially when it's done rationally, soberly, in a very reasonable manner, and we certainly saw some good questioning from the PNP on this. So generally speaking, we saw members of the parliamentary opposition taking on the government on issues of governance in Parliament and out of it. It's a good look for the PNP, it's a good look for the country. 2, they didn't win the election, but the PNP doubled their seat count in Parliament. That's a good thing. That has to be counted as a PNP doing something right, because it's really important that an opposition party is still seen as viable. This is the 3rd election they've lost in a row. If they put up another poor showing, it would start to raise real questions about the future of the party. The past 5 years in Parliament, with the PNP only having the small number of MPs they did, 14 MPs in the Parliament, means that they were less viable as an opposition. The opposition leader, Mark Golding, had to be doing way too much work in speaking on any and everything because there were so few of them. If a party is losing too much or keeps losing or loses worse than it lost before, it starts to look like it's on a downward trajectory. Losing can then become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You assume so them are going to lose, so you know support them, so them lose some more. And that can be good for a two-party democracy like Jamaica. We need our parliamentary opposition to look viable and vibrant and look like so then could actually win something. So it was absolutely important for the country and the democracy that the opposition did better in the election than they had done before, and they certainly did that. Number 3, here's somebody who has caught my eye early on the opposition side that I wasn't expecting. Guess who? Nikisha Burchell.
Yes, and while you push for more information from the service providers, especially JPS, when they send a report that says St. James has 79% of its customers still being out, it really doesn't paint the picture for deep rural constituencies, which are 0% recovered, you know. So when they break it out, if you could ask them to separate or disaggregate the data so that I can then work with my producers, my chicken farmers, and other producers in the constituency so they can have a timeline as to when they can ramp up their production. Because not one light post has been raised in South St. James since the passage of Hurricane Melissa. The wires, a lot of them, in trying to clear the pathway, we've had to cut them to get vehicle moving through the constituency. So 79% just means that the elegant corridor in Montego Bay has electricity, and parts of Bogue, that's a city. The rural constituencies are still in 100% darkness. In South St. James, as the political representative, I only got 300 food packages for my constituency 2 weeks after the hurricane, and that was after begging your minister, 2 weeks after begging Minister Pernell Charles, and he worked some magic to get me 300 bags. Every other food package I've been able to procure or bring to South St. James has been me begging private persons. But I am very much aware that there are persons coming into the constituency with the MLSS food package, because the bags are distinct and you have a little note in it. Even other MPs who are not from my constituency coming in with these things, and I'm wondering, where are they getting this? I was made aware of a packaging space you have in the Bogue area. I was called by someone from your office to say that I should collect 300 packages. When I was able to arrange transportation to go there, sent my driver, I'm told I need to speak with Senator Charles Sinclair or the mayor. And I'm wondering, how does that kind of political layer fit into me as the people's representative being given access to these food packages to help to distribute? And I'm telling you that what you're presenting here sounds really good, but it is totally different from what is happening on the ground.
She's brand new to the parliament. She's a first-time MP. She's still learning the ropes. You can see she's still feeling her way. But we've seen some really interesting contributions so far to the parliament and parliamentary committees. I think when she really finds her footing, she could develop into a really effective parliamentarian and a rising star in the PNP. Yeah, man. Yes, I know it's early days, but the thing is, it's because it's early days why she's caught my eye. We were expecting in this parliamentary term to see the names we expect, Dayton Campbell, Damian Crawford, Alfred Dawes. We were expecting to see those as the people dominating Parliament. It's been a pleasant surprise to see Nikisha Burchell step up. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with her and where she goes from here. So what did the PNP do wrong? Number one, so yes, I said earlier that one of the things they did right was by providing some effective opposition to the government. One of the things, though, they did wrong is, especially in this new parliamentary term, they have not been working efficiently in Parliament and really looking as if they know what's going on. They need to move more strategically in Parliament. I did a whole video on the PNP's missteps in this new parliamentary term, acting as if they don't understand how to operate in the standing orders, having House Leader Floyd Green and House Speaker Juliet Holness box them up, make them look like say them a little picnic when I know the standing orders. I'm saying this has to stop. You can check out the video I did on that so you can see exactly what it is I'm talking about.
As this is our first official business day of the Parliament, I do agree that the standing orders provides the guide, and I will ask that when people quote from the standing orders that they read the provision in full, because if they don't do that, they may take out a part to try and give an impression that is false. So when the leader of opposition, the member, read the provision in relation to the selection of committees, he framed it in a particular manner. It says, except as otherwise provided by these orders or by special direction of the House, a select committee may elect a chairman from the members. He never mentioned the first area of the provision, especially the special direction of the House in which we sit, as a route through which chairmen of committees can be chosen. I will not say it was purposefully misleading, but I will ask the members to read the provisions in full, or they may give a wrong impression.
This is 2026. We are 4 months past the general election. They have a bag of lawyers and other professionals in the house. They need to get serious. Look, make a New Year's resolution, all right? How about that? Try get through a parliamentary session without being schooled in the standing orders. Look like say you actually belong in the parliament. We need to see that. Number 2, I thought refusing to join a new Joint Select Committee of Parliament that the Prime Minister wanted to set up to oversee the Hurricane Melissa Recovery Program. I thought refusing to do that was a bad move. Now, I did a video on this. You can watch it to see exactly why I'm saying that. You can watch the full video on that. In short, the PNP has said they thought it would be a waste of time and resources. They thought it would be a duplication of an effort because then say you already have the PAAC, Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of Parliament. That committee does exist to monitor government expenditure, and they're saying, why then have another committee? I hear them on that. I still think it was a bad idea to say we're not joining. In short, it looked like the Prime Minister was reaching out a hand saying, hey, let's work together on this, and it looked as if they said, go. And I don't think the committee would have been a waste of time. They have enough members in Parliament now that they could have had an entirely different composition for this committee. They could have used it as a chance to strengthen their voice and continue to strengthen the oversight of the Hurricane Relief Recovery Program. They could have raised more questions, questioned more officials. And on top of that, it then would have looked as if they are doing their part to cooperate and collaborate and meet the JLP government halfway. Right now, it doesn't look like that, and I think that decision is going to continue to haunt them into 2026. Number 3, the PNP needs to generally improve on its messaging. And more to the point, make sure everybody's on the same page with its messaging. I thought this a lot for the earlier part of the year and during the election campaign as well. Some of the time it looked like people are on a frolic of their own, running around in different directions with different kind of messaging. The messaging just never seemed to me very consistent and very much on point. I spoke about this in some of my earlier videos. For instance, Dayton Campbell talking about imposing taxes on imported food that the opposition leader then had to walk back. Very embarrassing for the party. Having said that, I do have to say I did think it got better after Hurricane Melissa. On this point, I did think they did better. They seem to be speaking with one voice, singing from the same hymn book, all those metaphors. And on the same note, I thought they did good work at the PAAC, questioning public officials about what was happening with the Hurricane Melissa Recovery Program. We need to see much more of that. The PNP needs to do more of that, and the country needs to see more of that. 2026 is going to be a challenging year for Jamaica. It's going to be a challenging year for both major political parties. I'm going to be doing a couple of follow-up videos looking at what's ahead. So I'm going to leave it there. All right. Like the video, share it with somebody you think might be interested. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you know anytime I drop a new video. I'm Dion. Thank you so much for watching. Back to my tea.